The king of the swamp has faced down cancer, been caught in a secret sting, and stumbled upon a chilling discovery buried deep in the bayou's dark waters. But Troy Landry's story is far from over. What happened next would push his health, his family, and his legacy to the very edge, forcing him to fight battles on the water, in the courtroom, and at home. Through storms, rumors, and shocking turns no one saw coming, the man who ruled the gator-filled depths is finding out the swamp can crown you or swallow you whole. In 2022, Troy Landry faced a fight no gator could match. After years of charging through the bayou with his shotgun and trademark grin, he was hit with news that stopped him cold: prostate cancer. The king of the swamp suddenly found himself trading his boat for hospital rooms, facing the uncertainty of surgery and the long, grueling recovery that followed. For a man who thrived on early mornings, heavy work, and the thrill of the hunt, being forced into rest felt like being trapped on dry land with no way back to the water. Yet giving up was never in Troy's blood. Supported by his wife Bernita, his family, and a loyal fan base, he fought through every setback. By spring of 2024, he was not just walking, but working, back on the water, setting lines, and hauling in gators like nothing had changed. Fans hailed his comeback as proof of his toughness. But little did they know this was just the first battle in a year that would test him in ways even the swamp couldn't predict. Just months after his triumphant return, Troy found himself in the middle of a controversy that shocked fans and rattled the swamp hunting community. In September 2024, wildlife agents launched a sting operation targeting improper alligator tagging. According to reports, Troy was cited for tagging a dead gator and then freeing it back into the water, an act that, in Louisiana law, is a serious offense. Agents didn't stop there. They seized his boat, his engine, and issued multiple citations that came with the threat of steep fines and even possible jail time. For someone whose entire life revolved around hunting legally and preserving swamp traditions, the accusations hit hard. Some locals believed it was a misunderstanding. Others whispered about bigger agendas at play. Troy himself stayed tight-lipped publicly, focusing on the legal fight ahead. But as court dates loomed in late 2024 and early 2025, the king of the swamp knew this was one battle he couldn't win with a rifle. It would take patience, strategy, and a will as unshakable as the bayou cypress roots. And while the legal storm brewed, the swamp was about to reveal something even darker. While the legal drama played out, Troy was filming an episode of Swamp Mysteries with Troy Landry, a show that often takes him beyond the usual gator hunts and into the stranger corners of Louisiana's wetlands. This time, he and his partner Pickle Wheat were deep in the swamp when they stumbled upon something that froze them in their tracks: human remains. Not just a single bone, but fragments of a jaw, parts of a skull, and even sections of a leg, half buried in the mud, as if the swamp itself had been hiding a secret for years. The find immediately drew in law enforcement, forensic teams, and speculation from locals who'd heard whispers of missing persons and unsolved mysteries. Troy had seen just about everything the bayou could throw at a man: storms, predators, even near-death moments. But this discovery carried a weight he couldn't shake. And as shocking as it was, his toughest challenges weren't in the swamp. They were waiting at home. Away from the cameras and courtrooms, Troy was fighting a battle far more personal. In July 2024, his grandson Crew was born with a rare and life-threatening liver disease called biliary atresia. From the moment he came into the world, Crew's survival depended on finding a donor for a liver transplant, a race against time that no one could predict the outcome of. For Troy, who had always been the steady rock of his family, watching his loved ones navigate hospital visits, endless tests, and the constant wait for that one phone call was a pain deeper than any wound the swamp could give. The Landrys rallied together, organizing fundraisers, leaning on the support of fans, and doing everything possible to keep hope alive. Through it all, Troy kept working, hunting, and showing up for his community, but those closest to him could see the strain in his eyes. The king of the swamp wasn't just battling nature and the law, he was fighting for his family's future. And even with the weight of it all, he refused to let the crown slip. The bayou had shaped him into a fighter, and the fight was far from over. Through cancer, courtrooms, and family heartbreak, Troy Landry has kept doing what he does best: commanding the bayou. As of early 2012, he remains a central figure on Swamp People. Now in his 16th season, still rising before dawn to set lines, still calling the shots with that familiar mix of grit and humor. In Pierre Part, Louisiana, he's more than just a TV personality. He's a living symbol of Cajun tradition, carrying on the same hunting, trapping, and crawfish running skills that have been in his family for generations. Fans often spot him in town, happy to share a story or shake a hand, proof that fame hasn't pulled him away from his roots. Despite the storm swirling around him, Troy moves through the swamp with the confidence of a man who knows its every shadow and ripple. But for all his victories, one question still lingers. After everything he's faced, what challenges lie ahead for the king of the swamp? The bayou has a way of keeping its secrets until it's ready to reveal them. Troy Landry's journey has never been about smooth waters. It's been about steering through the storms. Even now, with his health reclaimed, his family united in hope, and the cameras still rolling, his future feels like a river bend you can't quite see around. There are still legal questions hanging in the air, a grandson's life depending on a miracle, and a bayou that never stops testing those who call it home. Yet if history has shown anything, it's that Troy thrives under pressure. He's a man who's turned survival into an art form, who treats every challenge, whether it's a 12-foot gator, a courtroom hearing, or a family crisis, with the same stubborn determination. For Troy, the swamp isn't just a backdrop, it's a teacher, a rival, and sometimes a refugee. And as long as there's another sunrise over those muddy waters, the king of the swamp will be out there, chasing what lies ahead, because the next chapter of his story hasn't been written yet. Through every battle, on the water and off, Troy Landry has proven he's more than just the king of the swamp. He's a fighter, a survivor, and a living symbol of resilience. From wrestling with towering gators to facing down life-threatening illness, legal storms, and family heartbreak, he's shown the same unshakable grit that made him a legend in the first place. The bayou has tested him in ways most couldn't imagine, but each time Troy has come back stronger, more determined, and more rooted in his Cajun heritage. In the end, his crown isn't just about the hunt, it's about the man who wears it. If you enjoyed diving into the untold story of Troy Landry, hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss the next deep dive into the lives behind the legends. And let me know in the comments, what do you think is next for the king of the swamp?